Hello guys, so it has been a while since I've made a new video and just want to give you an update on where I've been and what's going on. So lately I've been in Sydney for the last few weeks with my girlfriend. Spent a few weeks there, got to test a lot of perfume in stores, went to Libertine, Maya, Chemist Warehouse, Mecca, all the typical places to test perfume. Got to try a lot of nice perfume. Um, as you can see here, these are all the papers, the test strips that I used. Obviously, the smell isn't really there anymore. All the smell is like completely mixed up, so I don't know what is which anymore. But I remember which ones I liked because I had written them down in my phone. You see here, I have ones like Clive Christian Town and Country, which I remember this one I liked the smell of because it was like Baccarat Rouge 540 style fragrance. This one was a little bit more fresh. This is Town and Country by Clive Christian. And there's a lot of other ones like that. I got to test some new releases. I got to test some old ones that I haven't tried before. Some classics, like one of the newer ones, Legend Blue by Mont Blanc. Also, like the new Green Stravaganza, or whatever, Valentino Green Stravaganza. So, yeah, there's a lot of ones that I wanted to try, and I finally got the chance to try them. I would have liked to make a video about that, like a first impressions video, but I figured this is save a bit of money, go into stores while I'm in Sydney, and just, yeah, try some perfume. So, yes, I've still been smelling perfume and all that, but pretty much haven't been that active on YouTube with videos. Been studying coffee in Melbourne, doing barista courses. Before that, I was taking some dance workshops, working on my dance. Stopped making some perfume videos for a while to save some money, obviously, because I had to go to Sydney and spend some time with my girlfriend. And yeah, but I do have a new fragrance that I want to talk about. This one is pretty underrated. This is CK Calvin Klein Eternity Aromatic Essence. You see here, Aromatic Essence. And the reason I want to talk about this one is I feel like it's a little bit underrated at the moment. I don't really see many people talking about it. So we'll make a little video about this one. And then maybe afterwards I'll talk about some of my favorite new ones that I've also tried as well. So if I have time, I'll talk a little bit about my favorite new fragrances that I've tried, even though they're not all new. To me, it's like the ones that I like the most out of what I've tested recently. So we'll give this one a spray, and I'll talk a little bit about this one first, just because we want to make this video mostly about this perfume here, and just give you a little update on where I've been. So this opens up with a very green, a little bit aromatic, creamy, and sweet. So that's what. So it's a little bit spicy, woody, green, but you get that sweetness. You get that coconut. So you get like that woodiness, the green woodiness from the juniper. I've said in a few videos before, juniper can give off a little bit of a rosemary smell. Like rosemary and juniper are very close smells in my opinion. Well, they can be. So this has that like rosemary kind of smell in it, juniper rosemary smell. And then you get that cardamom, which is a little bit aromatic, but it's also like a little bit citrusy. Which is also combined with the lemon. You have lemon and cardamom in this, which give it like a nice light spiciness. But then the Sichuan pepper, it's not really doing too much in here, just adding a little bit of aromatic vibe. Like the name says, it's aromatic essence. You do get the aromatics in here. So if you're trying this one, you may think this is just like a tropical coconut fragrance. Tropical coconut fragrance is usually more fresh and coconutty, like Virgin Island water and stuff like that. They have a lot of the lime and coconut, so they're usually more fresh. Not to say you can't get some more sweeter coconut ones. Like the sweeter ones would usually be like mango and coconut, or pineapple coconut, or like guava, like papaya. A lot more of the tropical kind of ingredients. This doesn't really have the tropical ingredients in there besides the coconut. So what you get in this one is just pretty much juniper, cardamom, Sichuan pepper, coconut. You get the lemon. I'm pretty sure there's like some lavender in there too. But the main thing that I like about this is the dry down, pretty much. So it has like a nice creamy coconut dry down, and I like the sweetness. How the sweetness is balanced with a lot of the aromatics in here. So first time I tried this, I thought it was more on the green side, like a green fragrance with coconut in it. Now I think the coconut still stands out the most above everything in this. If you smell this, the coconut is very noticeable. So if you want a coconut fragrance, this definitely is a coconut fragrance, but it may not be the tropical one that you're craving. This is just something a little bit different. So an aromatic coconut fragrance, which I don't really see that much actually. I think coconut is usually more gourmand or tropical, or like you have that like sunscreen kind of beachy smell, or maybe it's like florals like ylang ylang with coconut. This is not really like that at all. This is like taking coconut and doing something a little bit different. So I would compare this fragrance to like Parfums de Marly Layton actually, because it has that cardamom woodiness and creaminess in it. So you have the green, the wood, the cardamom, and the creamy elements that Layton have, and then you make that a little bit different, a little bit smoother, a little bit more mass appealing, and more coconutty instead of more vanilla-y. So you take like Boss Bottled Pacific or something like that, which is a coconut kind of fragrance that Boss released, and then you have Layton, and it's like you mixed Boss Bottled Pacific with Parfums de Marly Layton, or even you could say like Altair, Parfums de Marly Altair, which is like a smoother, sweeter version of Layton, in my opinion. It's got similarities to those, even though it's not a clone. It's not really like exactly like those. I'm just comparing it to like those. Like it is an aromatic fragrance, like the name suggests. So that's where I get the Layton comparison. And then the coconutty smell, obviously you have to compare it to other coconut fragrances like Boss Bottled Pacific. People compare it to Le Beau by Jean Paul Gaultier. If you had to compare it to one of those, it would probably be the Parfum, because it's more sweeter, creamier, and that's just what this is a little bit more of. But I think Le Beau is not as interesting. It's more mass appealing. It's more basic. Maybe more fruity. This isn't like fruity. This is what I would call aromatic. So it's a little bit more interesting than Le Beau, but at the same time, it's not that complex where it's going to be that hard to wear or that challenging. I actually think this is a really good fragrance for people that want compliments, and even though it's not really like 100% safe, it is very mass appealing. It is a compliment fragrance. I think I underestimated this a little bit when I first tested it, just passing it off as like a basic scent, until I kind of realized that a lot of people love this stuff. So I've given this stuff a little bit more respect, realizing how many people actually like it, especially girls as well. They like this one. I think the coconut, they really dig the coconut in this. So performance of this, actually really good. For Calvin Klein, has good performance. Last on my skin, at least forever. I can't imagine if you sprayed yourself with it how long that would last, but that would probably be very long time. And you'd probably have to go light on the sprays, because I could imagine this one being very easy to overspray, like a beast mode fragrance, maybe a little bit cloying because of the sweetness and aromatics in there, and just simply how strong it is. But I think this is a good fragrance, cheap, being Calvin Klein. There's already like sales for this one. Chemist Warehouse and stuff already have it cheap as well. So definitely do check this one out. I think it's a great release from Calvin Klein. And yeah, it's good to see Calvin Klein doing something a little bit different instead of their typical fragrances that they release. So let's talk a little bit about some of these ones that I've tried lately. What are my favorites? So first one I'll talk a little bit about would be Valentino Green Stravaganza. I thought that was like a nice addition to Valentino's Born in Roma line. So this is the Born in Roma Green Stravaganza. I think it's got a little bit of that Uomo Born in Roma DNA, but it does make it a little bit different. It is more sweeter, and I think they added some coffee in there too. But the smell, I really dig the smell of this. This might be my favorite Born in Roma, but I'm not sure until I actually get a bottle and give it a full wearing, because at the moment I am in love with the original Born in Roma still. I wear that all the time. It's a safe fragrance and easy to grab fragrance you can wear pretty much any time. So next would be Carolina Herrera Bad Boy Cobalt. So this has been out for a while, a minute already. They've already got some flankers to this one, but I just wanted to test the first one. So this is Bad Boy Cobalt, and I really like the dark plum and fruitiness they've done with this one. This one reminds me of a few other fragrances. I think maybe 1 Million Lucky, or it was like, I'm trying to think, 1 Million Lucky. Nah, I think it was like 1 Million Elixir or something, or Invictus Victory Elixir, something like that. Yeah, Invictus Victory Elixir. I'm pretty sure it has like similar kind of vibe to that one going on, but it's a great fragrance. Sadly, I only have it on a test strip, so can't remember exactly what it smells like. I just wrote down in my phone the ones that I like the most, smelt them, writ them down because they had made a good first impression. So I can't really talk too much about the smell of these. I'll just give you a quick rundown of the ones that stood out to me the most. So Valentino Green Stravaganza, Bad Boy Cobalt, Mizoni Parfum Pour Homme. So this one gets compared to like here, Mizoni Parfum Pour Homme, not to be confused with Mizoni Wave. This is the other one that, yeah, it's supposed to smell like Bleu de Chanel, and it does. The opening smells like Bleu de Chanel, but I prefer this over Bleu de Chanel actually, which was a big surprise to me because Bleu de Chanel has unrivaled quality. Like, you can't really beat the quality of Bleu de Chanel, but it is a basic fragrance, a basic citrus fragrance, and I think Mizoni have actually improved upon that DNA by making it fruity. They've added like some apple in there or something, but it's like a fruity version of Bleu de Chanel, and I absolutely love this stuff. So Mizoni Parfum Pour Homme, more interesting fruity version of Bleu de Chanel, a little bit more younger and fun, which is, I like this stuff a lot. So I will be getting a bottle of this maybe in the future. Cobalt, Mizoni Parfum Pour Homme. Clive Christian, Town and Country, taking that Baccarat Rouge 540 DNA, making it a little bit more interesting. I remember the opening being actually quite fruity, fresh, or citrusy, while having that saffron, fir resin sweetness to it as well, like a little bit sugary, syrupy in the dry down, a little bit woody and peppery also in the dry down. But I think the opening is what stands out to me the most with this one. It had like almost like a tropical smell. It kind of did remind me of what I would call like Synergy by Santologia. Synergy. This is pretty close to that. If you've tried that one, do give this one a try as well. Or if you want a little bit of a different take on that Baccarat Rouge 540 DNA, go try Town and Country by Clive Christian. I tested this in Libertine, which I don't know if you can see, but Yeah, this was from Libertine. Um, so, what other ones are my favorite ones that I've tried? Mont Blanc Legend Blue, which is one of the new ones. I think they've taken that Fierce DNA, Abercrombie and Fitch Fierce DNA, and it's what I always wanted Abercrombie and Fitch to do, but just start doing something different with that DNA because it's such a good DNA. I think it deserves to have a lot of flankers, and Mont Blanc are doing something different with it. Like they're taking that DNA and trying different things, and I love that because Fierce is been one of my favorite fragrances. Um, Sadly, performance isn't that good, but I like what they've done with Legend Blue. I think it's a little bit more aquatic, a little bit yeah, just aquatic, I'd say, and fresher. Whereas the original Legend was like a sweeter, fruitier version of Fierce. Then you had Legend Red, which was like a red fruity version of Fierce. Then you had like Legend EDP, which was like Fierce, but a little bit darker and more mature, more of a nighttime kind of scent. So it was still sweeter and a little bit more dense, less soapy, but it took that fruitiness in the EDP. And then the blue is going in a fresher direction now. So this is what I like, where they're taking Fierce, even though Fierce is a very fresh fragrance, they've also taken out a lot of the soapiness and just gone more of an aquatic direction with this one, turning it into more of a blue DNA, which I actually like that. Had the chance to test a few different ones like Ferragamo Intense Leather. Really surprised by this one. I'm not sure where the card is, but Intense Leather by Ferragamo reminds me a little bit of Tom Ford Ombre Leather. So the leather in this is done really well, but it has a very fresh opening, and I think they've made a leather fragrance mass appealing. So I've always wondered what a leather fragrance would be like if they made it mass appealing and smelled really good. A little bit fruity even. Ferragamo Intense Leather have absolutely nailed that one in my opinion. So that's one of the ones that I really liked lately. Another one I got to try, but I can't really remember exactly how it smells, was I think Acqua di Parma Arancia di Capri. This was by Acqua di Parma, and I can't remember if this is the actual one I tried, but I remember it like starting with A or something. But I know that I smelt like all the Acqua di Parmas in Libertine or Maya, wherever it was, and then I was like, it's too citrusy and sour. A lot of their fragrances are very citrus orientated, and it's usually like a bergamot or a very sharp, zesty lemon. Like it's usually they love their zesty citrus. I think being an Italian kind of house, they love their citrus, very zesty, but they have that sour quality, and I don't like when citrus smells sour. Even though they're trying to go in a more fresh direction, sometimes fresher when it comes to citrus is more sour. So you got to be careful if you want a fresh citrus. Don't make it sour at the same time. So maybe try and balance out like some of the more sour smelling citruses like bergamot with something a little bit different. Like I like when bergamot is paired with neroli or orange blossom, sometimes jasmine. You gotta be really careful though that it doesn't smell too girly. You want it to be more of a lemonade smell, like fresh, icy cold rather than sour. So Dior Cologne, Jimmy Choo Man Ice, like those kind of fragrances where it gets really cold and icy, but it's not too sour at the same time. So while Acqua di Parma do have a lot of fans, a lot of people love that neroli Italian neroli, bergamot, lemon, zesty kind of smell. Um, it just depends on the person. I've never been that big on citrus fragrances, but this one, what I liked about it the most, there was something sweet in there when I smelt it. I think it was caramel or something. I had like that, like a pretty nice kind of citrus opening, but then sweetness which accompanied that, and it made it more rich and deep and dark. And I was like, yeah, this smells really good. So I think it was the caramel, whatever they had put in there, but that one stood out to me from Acqua di Parma. So I think it's Arancia di Capri by Acqua di Parma. And then also another one that stood out to me was what I tried in Mecca. I tried two different ones in Mecca. It was by Diptyque Philosophos. So Diptyque Philosophos, or however you say it, the EDP version. This reminds me of a peach and apricot type of scent with some fig in there, and I think even coconut or vanilla too. So it gave off like the Louis Vuitton Pacific Chill smell. To me, it smells like Pacific Chill by Louis Vuitton, but more creamy, sweeter, rich, sexier. So if you want a nice fresh fruity fragrance like a peach worm, Pacific Chill. If you want to maybe save some money, get like similar vibe, but something that you can wear maybe in colder weather too. Philosophos EDP, it's got that peach, fig, creamy smell to it. Maybe even a little bit of coriander vibe in there, like coriander seed too. A little bit soapy. That one is really good. Like, that surprised me a lot how good that was. I love a good fruity fragrance, and this is just like, I slept on Diptyque House for a while because I'd never actually liked their bottle, and their fragrances never really stood out to me a lot, even though they have a lot of hype online. I always see people talk about Diptyque. Usually it is these fragrances. It's like Philosophos, it's like Tam Dao, it's Eau Duel, I can't pronounce that one, but they're like the main Diptyque fragrances. So while there is EDP and EDT, I tried the EDP ones, and I think they're usually the higher rated ones too, the EDP. So Philosophos, really nice peach apricot fig kind of smell going on there, fruity with some coconut or vanilla in there. And next is Tam Dao EDP as well. This reminds me a lot of Byredo Gypsy Water, but it has better performance. So one of my favorite fragrances is Gypsy Water by Byredo, but I wanted better performance out of it, and that's what I got with Diptyque Tam Dao EDP. Opening, some lime and ginger in the opening. It's got some wood in there. I think sandalwood or cedar. The wood's really good though. Really nice wood. Creamy vanilla or coconut element in there too. So I think it's lime, ginger, coconut or vanilla. Some sandalwood. So you get that citrusy, fresh kind of opening, and a little bit woody, same as you would get in Gypsy Water, and you get that creamy kind of vanilla-y smell in a dry down too. Exactly what you would get in Gypsy Water. So best of both worlds there. Woody, citrusy opening, creamy vanilla-y dry down. Only difference is Gypsy Water is very light, airy. It's got that watery quality to it, hence the name Gypsy Water. And I just feel like Tam Dao is more heavy. It's much more of a heavier scent. So maybe you want to go with the EDT instead, because I think the EDT may be more light and fresh. I'm not sure with that. I've only tried the EDP, and I think because it is an EDP, I think they've gone with the more heavier, dense kind of smell. But that one was really, really nice. I like that one a lot, actually. And then some other ones I got to try at Libertine were BDK Tobacco Rose. This surprised me, not being much of a rose lover. I actually did like the rose in this one. I think because it has like that bitter green type of tobacco in it. So there's a greenness in there. The tobacco makes it like a little bit earthy, and the rose just kind of complements that earthy, bitter, kind of woody greenness in it, whatever that was. But BDK Tobacco Rose, I would say leans a little bit more masculine, actually, not as feminine. Even though it's a rose fragrance, it is very green and tobacco-y, earthy. Um, for that reason, I would say a little bit more masculine, but it's still unisex. Like you may think it's more feminine because the rose in it. So the next one is called Woods and Spices by Montal. I heard Curly Fragrance talk about this one a lot. I got the chance to test this at Libertine, and I really liked it actually. Even though despite the bad reviews online, I don't understand that. This one reminds me of Lafayette Street or L'Homme Ultime by YSL L'Homme Ultime, which is discontinued, and Lafayette Street by Bond Number 9. So I don't know what it is that reminds me of that, but I think it is like this. It has like this creaminess. No, not creamy, like a little bit soapy maybe. It has like a fresh soapiness with a little bit of like this smell that I can't figure out, but it's in a few fragrances like YSL L'Homme Ultime. And I always thought it was like a sparkling effervescence. Maybe that comes from the ginger. Maybe it's the type of rose they use, which gives it like a little sweet undertone to the rose. But it's done so well here. I just think, yeah, Woods and Spices, it actually surprised me a lot. Like, for the name Woods and Spices, I didn't get any wood or spice in this. It was more of like a nice, very smooth, citrusy, a little bit sparkling, a little bit like soapy. It almost had like a soapy smell to it as well, which I really liked. So Woods and Spices by Montal surprised me a lot, even though I've heard Curly Fragrance talk about it a million times. It didn't smell like what I expected it to smell like. So let's talk about a few more just before I end this video. I won't get too much into detail with this. Blue Gin by Mizenser. This is Alberto Maria's house. Mizenser is his creations that he does. Blue Gin is like a nice kind of aquatic alcoholic smell. So it's like you've taken that aquatic DNA and put a little bit of alcohol in there too, just to add a little bit of punch and spice in there. Can come across as a little bit maybe even bitter from the alcohol, but it's not like an offensive fragrance at all. This is like, I compare it to like Mega Man by Auto Parisi, but made more smoother and taken out a lot of the harsh kind of elements of Mega Man and just softened it, refined it a little bit more. So I like Blue Gin by Mizenser. Some similarities to Vodka on the Rocks by Killian as well there. Just the alcohol's a lot better done in Blue Gin as well. So if you like Vodka on the Rocks by Killian, do check out Blue Gin by Mizenser as well. Next would be Silky Woods by Goldfield and Banks. Obviously, high expectations with this, a lot of hype. Lived up to all my expectations. Really nice, gourmand, dark, sweet, rich, sexy fragrance. Everything I thought it would be, and I loved it for that reason, because it didn't disappoint. I expected it to be good. I kind of knew what I was getting into with that one when I smelt it, and yeah, so it's good when something meets your expectations, and it's just very satisfying to smell something that good, you know. So Silky Woods by Mizenser. By Goldfield and Banks, sorry. Goldfield and Banks Silky Woods. Other ones I got to try were Gin Fizz by Lubin. I'm not sure where this fuck. I had a card somewhere. I have like a card somewhere, I don't know where it is, but it was here. Gin Fizz. Gin Fizz by Lubin. I've never heard of this brand before. Actually, wasn't even on my list to try. The guy in the shop at Libertine, he's just like, try this one, you'll probably like this. And I was like, okay, I'll try it. And what I got was like this really nice, fresh, minty gin. I don't know if I used the word minty, but it reminds me of Gin Tonic by McAuliffe as well. So very similar to McAuliffe's Gin Tonic. Only difference being that I think there may not be mint in it. I think this one in a dry down does get a little bit more floral in a dry down because it is made for women, even though I find it a unisex fragrance. It could just be because I tested it on paper. It smelled a little bit different on paper. I don't know. But I really liked what I smelled. And I just have always been looking for a nice gin fragrance because I think gin actually works really well in fragrances. Like, you got blue gin here. You got Gin Tonic. You got Gin Fizz by Lubin. And there's probably a bunch of other ones I'm forgetting as well. But gin usually smells pretty good in a fragrance. So that was another one that really impressed me. And then you got like Boss Bottled Tonic. That was kind of basic. Smelled really good though. It's basic Boss Bottled Tonic. Just kind of like what you'd expect, typical blue basic fragrance, but completely inoffensive. It was nice. And I did get the chance to go back and test Parfums de Marly Delina and Initio Atomic Rose. In the past, I never really liked these fragrances. I think because I've never been a fan of Rose, but my girlfriend actually really liked Delina, and then she's been wearing Delina like every day when I was there in Sydney, and then I was like, you know what, I really dig this smell on women. I think Delina smells bloody amazing on girls, actually. I think when I tested Delina on skin, the lychee or fruity note didn't really stand out as much, but when you actually spray it all over your body, then I could smell the lychee and the fruitiness of that fragrance a lot more, and I think it's grown on me so much now. I really am starting to dig that Delina Atomic Rose kind of DNA, like, so I understand why that's so popular, and that was just another one that I've kind of been enjoying lately too. Just when my girlfriend wears it, I probably wouldn't wear it because I think it is a girl's fragrance anyway. But yeah, so out of all the fragrances I've tried, maybe I have to make a separate video or something for like a top 10 list. But they're the ones that I like the most, and I probably tested here about 100 fragrances, or I don't know, a lot. I know I went into Libertine and I tested pretty much everything in their store. So now I think I'll just go to the Libertine in Melbourne store next and have a look around, see if Libertine in Melbourne has anything different. Maybe I'll check out like Oligarch here in Melbourne, which I've been wanting to go to for a while as well. But yeah, thanks for watching. I just wanted to give you a little update and like a little a video I haven't posted in such a long time, so just let you know what's been going on my channel, and maybe it might be a while until I get to upload some more new fragrance videos, just because I'm so busy and I'm pretty short on money right now. I've got to save up again. But yeah, hopefully I get to get some new fragrances to try and make some new videos for you. If not, then I do apologize, but I'll try my best to put out some videos more often if I can. That's why I had this little sample here. I'm like, I'll make a video while I have this, and you know, like, talk a little bit about this one. So if you get the chance, check it out. Calvin Klein Aromatic Essence, Eternity Aromatic Essence, Coconut, Citron Pepper, Juniper, Cardamom, Coconut. Nice fragrance, cheap, long lasting. Anyway, thanks for watching, guys. Yeah, have a good day. Peace.